Hello students, I am going to teach you today 5th chapter of 11th standard chemistry, that is states of matter part 2. After watching this video, you will be able to state various gas laws. You will be able to know about applications of gas laws, understand their graphical presentations and mathematical expressions, and you will be able to solve numericals based on these gas laws. The various gas laws which we are going to study in this chapter are Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law, and there is one more law, Dalton's law of partial pressures. So let's first take up Boyle's law. It states that at constant temperature, the pressure of a fixed amount of gas varies inversely with its volume. So if we have a gas at a particular temperature and its mass is fixed, so on increasing pressure, volume will decrease, and on decreasing pressure, volume will increase. So both are inversely related. So P is inversely proportional to volume. And if you remove the proportionality sign, we can introduce a constant which is denoted by K1 here. So P is equal to K1 into 1 upon V. So on rearranging, we get PV is equal to K1. So if we have a gas, certain amount of gas at a particular temperature and its pressure is P1 and initially its volume is V1, suppose we change its pressure P1 to P2, then its volume will change. It will change from V1 to V2. Suppose we double the pressure, then volume will become half. Then, but their product will remain constant. Product of pressure and volume in both cases will remain constant. So we conclude that P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Now in the graph, we are seeing that pressure has been plotted against volume. Pressure has been taken on y-axis, volume along x-axis. So on increasing the volume, pressure is decreasing. Or we can say that when we increase the pressure, volume decreases. Now these curves have been plotted at fixed temperatures, at constant temperatures, so they are known as isotherms. Now next law is Charles' law. It states that for a fixed mass at constant pressure, volume of a gas increases on increasing temperature and decreases on cooling. When we increase the volume of gas, then when we increase the temperature of the gas, then its volume will increase, and when we decrease the temperature, then volume will decrease. Now for each degree rise in temperature, volume of gas increased by 1 by 273.15 of the original volume of the gas at 0 degrees Celsius. Now, if the volume of the gas at 0 degrees Celsius is represented by V naught, then volume of gas at T degrees Celsius is represented by Vt. So this is the mathematical expression of Charles' law. Vt is equal to V naught plus V naught upon 273.15 into T. So we can take V naught common, and then in the bracket we will be left with 1 plus T upon 273.15. Now we can take LCM of this. The LCM of the LCM will be 273.15. So we can write here Vt is equal to V naught, and in the bracket we can write 273.15 plus small t upon 273.15. So small t is the temperature on Celsius scale. And when you add 273.15 to the temperature on Celsius scale, it changes into Kelvin temperature. It changes into absolute temperature. So at this stage, we can define a new scale of temperature, which is known as Kelvin temperature scale or absolute temperature scale. So here capital T is equal to 273.15 plus small t, and then 0 degrees Celsius will be given by T naught is equal to 273.15. So we can write this expression as Vt is equal to V naught and 273.15 plus small t can be written like T1. Then it will be divided by, we can replace 273.15 by T naught. So 273.15 is the uh, temperature at absolute scale. So it is the 0 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is represented by 273.15 at the absolute scale. So ultimately we can write the expression of Charles' law as V1 upon T1 is equal to V2 upon T2. So we can find that V upon T is equal to constant, and this constant is denoted by K2. So value of K2 is determined by the pressure of the gas, its amount, and the units in which volume V is expressed. So Charles' law states that pressure remaining constant, the volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. So if we increase the temperature, volume of the gas will increase. So conditions are that the mass of the gas should be fixed and pressure should be constant. Now this graph shows relationship between volume and temperature. So these curves, these lines have been plotted at different pressures, where we can see that P1 is less than P2, P2 is less than P3, and P3 is less than P4. So these graphs are known as isobars because each line has been plotted at a fixed pressure. So here pressure is constant. And all these lines, they meet the temperature axis, they meet the x-axis at minus 273.15 degree Celsius. So all the gases assume zero volume. All the gases acquire zero volume when they reach this temperature minus 273.15 degree Celsius. So this is the lowest hypothetical or imaginary temperature at which all gases are supposed to have zero volume. And this temperature is known as absolute zero. So actually all the gases, they tend to liquefy before reaching this imaginary temperature. Then next law is Gay-Lussac's law. It tells us about the relationship between pressure and temperature. So it states that at constant volume, pressure of a fixed amount of a gas varies directly with the temperature. So P is directly proportional to T. Then T upon T, here again temperature is taken on absolute scale. So T upon T is equal to constant. It is equal to K3. And this relationship can be derived from both Boyle's law and Charles' law. And each line in the graph is called isochore. So again, here we are seeing a graph between pressure and temperature. So when temperature increases, pressure increases. So these graphs have been plotted at constant volume. So that's why they are known as isochores. Next law is Avogadro's law. It states that equal volumes of all gases under the same condition of temperature and pressure contain equal number of molecules. So we can say that the volume of the gas depends directly to the number of molecules in it. So greater is the number of molecules or greater is the number of moles. So volume of the gas will be greater. So V is directly proportional to small n, and small n represents the number of moles of the gas. And removing the proportionality sign, we can introduce a constant K4 here. So V is equal to K4 into N, and 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules, and it is called Avogadro's constant. Now, by combining the three gas laws, we can get ideal gas equation. So according to Boyle's law, V is inversely proportional to P. According to Charles' law, V is directly proportional to absolute temperature. And as per Avogadro's law, V is directly proportional to number of moles of the gas. Now combining these three gas laws, we get an equation which is called ideal gas equation. Now V is proportional to N into T upon P. So here we will remove this proportionality sign. So instead of proportionality sign, here will be V is equal to, so R N T upon T. So R is called the proportionality constant, and we on rearranging we will get PV is equal to nRT. So R is equal to, we can rearrange further. So R is equal to PV upon NT, and R is called the gas constant, and therefore is called universal gas constant. So at standard temperature pressure conditions, at standard temperature pressure conditions, the value of R is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. And we can say that P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to NR, and P2 V2 upon T2 is equal to NR. So then we can imply that P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. So this equation is called the combined gas law. And if out of 6 variables, values of 5 variables are known, the value of unknown variable can be calculated. Next is relation between density and molar mass of a gaseous substance. So we can write ideal gas equation like this. We can rearrange it. Initially, we have PV is equal to nRT. So we can write here N upon V is equal to P upon RT. So replacing this number of moles by small m upon capital M. Small m represents the mass of the gas in grams. Then capital M represents its molar mass. So we can write here, we can replace this N by M upon small m upon capital M, and then it can be written M upon M V is equal to P upon RT. So mass upon volume can be written like density. So we can replace here as density upon capital M is equal to P upon RT. So we can again rearrange capital M is equal to dRT upon T. So this is the relationship between molar mass and density. Next is Dalton's law of partial pressures. It states that the total pressure exerted by a mixture of non-reactive gases is equal to the sum of the partial pressures of the individual gases. In a mixture of gases, the pressure exerted by an individual gas is called its partial pressure. So P total is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. So pressure, so application of Dalton's law of partial pressure is that we can calculate the pressure of a dry gas by subtracting vapor pressure of water from the total pressure of the moist gas, which contains water vapor also. So pressure exerted by saturated water vapor is called aqueous tension, and pressure of dry gas is equal to pressure of the moist gas minus aqueous tension. Then you have to write the answers of these questions. First is, why is it not possible to cool a gas to 0 Kelvin? Second, how does Charles' law apply to hot air balloons? Third, Liquid ammonia bottle is cooled before opening the seal. Explain. Fourth question. Is Dalton's law of partial pressure valid for a mixture of sulfur dioxide and oxygen gases? And fifth, sixth, and seventh are numericals. So a gas occupies 100 ml at a pressure of 0.5 bar. How much volume will it occupy when it is subjected to external pressure of 1.5 bar, keeping the temperature constant? And sixth question is, at what temperature will the volume of gas at 0 degrees Celsius become half of its volume at constant pressure? Seventh question is, a sample of gas occupies a volume of 100 milliliter at a pressure of 0.5 bar at 30 degrees Celsius. Calculate pressure of gas if it is compressed to 22.5 ml at -7 degree Celsius. Thank you.